The residential design category recognizes works of landscape architecture for residential use that exhibit distinction in design, function, context, and environmental responsibility. Receiving honor awards in residential design are Proving Grounds, a 20-year education in American horticulture for Adam Rose and Peter McQuillan by Reed Hildebrand. The landscape architects used this project to test sustainable practices and then shared their findings with public and private constituencies. Jurors liked the way the landscape architects left a minimal footprint that respected the topography of the site, integrating organic, sustainable practices without losing the poetry of the garden. There is, they commented, an integrity of space here. Even the new modern elements were not forced, but handled sensitively. Agrarian Modern, The Recovery and Renewal of Manituck Farm by Reed Hildebrand. Ageless and elegant, the design recognizes the former walls while capturing a refreshing sense of modernity. It encapsulates the history of the place and builds off it, including tucking a garden in the old wall. So big and so in keeping with the spirit of the site, yet distinguished by an engaging simplicity. As one juror said, "This is really nice." Northeast Harbor, a restoration on Mount Desert Island by Stephen Stimson Associates Landscape Architects. The fact that the contemporary interventions are not easily detected is a testament to the skill of the landscape architects. As you approach the water, you can't tell what's new and what's been there. The various layers seamlessly blend into the landscape. Also, it's not easy to design a garden that works with the change of seasons. Clearly, the project team thought about the off-seasons, the anemones flowering late, the ferns turning color. The design celebrates family life. It speaks to all ages who use it. Smith Residence by Roach and Roach Landscape Architecture. A visually powerful project. How the landscape architects kept the existing old trees with the ultra-contemporary architecture is impressive. With the addition of custom-designed overhead trellises and walls, the architecture in a sense bleeds itself out. One juror said, "The overall spatial definition is great. You can see how well it's going to grow in. There are some real wows here." Casa Las Brisas, Formation of a Coastal Retreat by C. Stuart Moore Design. This was a compromised site. You can see where the cliff face has slumped as a result of seismic activity and erosion. At some level, this was a restoration project, and the transformation is remarkable. The landscape architects have done everything in an interesting and tasteful way, including refraining from adding inappropriate trees. The result is the creation of special moments. Abstracting Morphology by Hollander Design Landscape Architects. A very complex process is going on, including the masterful way the team graded the site and kept the existing trees. The hand of the landscape architect is so deft, so soft on the land that it's invisible. It disappears. Consider the grove of ginkgos. The stone in the path beneath is cut in a way that abstracts the falling leaves. The poetry is remarkable. The range of vistas and details that help one understand the site are the elements of a gorgeous project whose beauty lies in its very simplicity. North Point Apartments for Aline Esternez. North Point Apartments by Jet Landscape Architecture and Design. Developers typically default to more commercial approaches for multifamily residential design. Perhaps more than anywhere, these spaces have the greatest need for beautiful landscaping. This project design offers intimate moments, giving residents the feeling that they have their own backyard, with access to the larger space that helps people come together. the team created a cohesive language among 5 courtyards and adjacent buildings while modernizing Lawrence Halprin's decades-old vision. This is a true cultural landscape, the jury said. Telegraph Hill Residence by Andrea Cochran Landscape Architecture. On an incredibly difficult site, the landscape architects conjured something out of nothing, making, in essence, land out of air. The project embraced the uniqueness of the San Francisco topography, in particular the tension created by the site and the cliff below. The materials expressed themselves as they are, including the selection of plantings that would have been found on the cliff face. Rich and artistic, this project shows that even in a small space, a moment can be created. Receiving the Award of Excellence in Residential Design is Birmingham Residence for Linda Dresner by Andrea Cochran Landscape Architecture. Wow, wow! Gorgeous, beautiful, exquisite. That's a representative sampling of jury reactions to this project. Jurors were struck by how the landscape architect team worked so well within the confines of a small and complex site to fulfill the client's vision of an outdoor space for her important art collection. Despite the challenge of complicated grades, the skillful blending of landscape with architecture and art was applauded by the jury as absolutely perfect. This and every element of the project, construction and the quality of materials, speaks to the new and going forward.